Welcome to the Far From Average podcast, where we speak about topics and interview people who are far from average. We have a 5-minute Friday special for you guys today. First and foremost, this podcast is sponsored by Fortune 800. For all of your credit needs, go to www.fortune800.com. Credit repair, trade lines, anything like that having to do with your credit, make sure you go to www.fortune800.com. And if you need or want a guide to improve your credit score on your own, go to www.diycreditebook.com to get 70% off my DIY credit ebook special for the podcast listeners. Now, on this 5-minute Friday, I want to talk about what it is that you value, because I was speaking to someone a few days ago and they were asking, do I like what I do? And I said, absolutely. Obviously, I love what I do. I get to help people with their credit scores. I get to inspire people to get involved in entrepreneurship. But the main thing that I said was I have time freedom. Whenever I don't necessarily want to do something, I don't have to. And that's top of what is important to me. And I started to think about the other things that people may value. And this is something that you're going to have to take stock with yourself with. Do you value stability? Like, do you want to have that consistent same income? You want to know exactly how much you're going to make. You want to know exactly what kind of work you're going to do. Do you want that stability? Do you value your freedom? You want to be able to do what you want when you want to do it? Do you value just making as much money as possible? Do you want to be able to just buy whatever designer brands, whatever, have the nicest car? What is it that you value? This is something, like I said, you have to take stock with yourself and you have to be honest with yourself. A lot of times with the whole social media age, we tend to value what we see and we value what other people are doing. For instance, if you're scrolling through Instagram and you see people making, 6 figures a month, 250 grand a month, like all these crazy numbers, and they're buying Lambos and they're going on trips, whatever it is that you're seeing, and you're thinking like, man, like I need to do that. Before you start to emulate those people, or before you start to think that you're not, quote unquote, living your best life, understand yourself first. What is it that you want? I want my time. Like, for instance, when I first started making money and I started seeing, months like $30,000 a month, like I started to make decent money, I always thought that the first thing that I was going to do is, go shopping for designer brands, go do, just splurge on a bunch of things that I didn't necessarily need. And that was kind of where my mind was at, because a lot of times people are thinking about spending the money before they even get it. So that's kind of where my mind was at. But once I started to see the money and I got a 2-story penthouse, I got a brand new car, I started to realize that what I really wanted the most is to be able to wake up when I want to, go to bed when I want to. And obviously I'm doing the work and I'm still working. I'm producing at an extremely high level, but I'm not necessarily too worried about just having the most luxurious lifestyle ever. I'm cool with, and this is so easy for people to misconstrue this as me saying not to have nice stuff. That's not the case. I'm not saying you shouldn't have nice stuff. What I'm saying is you should focus on what it is that you value. We get hit with so much marketing on Instagram from designer brands, and a lot of times I'm personally just not interested in a lot of that stuff, and that's my own personal affinity. If that's what you're truly interested in, and you're not just being a slave to the marketing and a slave to the culture of Birkin bags or bust down rollies or whatever it is for you, you're not just too consumed with that rapper or that consumerist culture. That's what I really like to call it, is consumer culture. Me, I'm more focused on producing. I'm focused on producer culture, because the more that I produce and the more that I put out, the more that I guess in turn I'll be able to consume, but the more I'll be able to purchase my time back. One of the biggest mistakes that I made in business was purchasing too much of my time to where I was working like 2-3 hours a day. And before I knew it, the employees that I had that I wasn't really checking on thoroughly enough had ruined the business. And it was my fault because I wasn't checking in thoroughly enough to see what it is that they're doing. So I want you to take stock for yourself. What is it that you value? Do you value your time? Do you want to travel? Do you want to have the most luxurious lifestyle? Do you want stability? What is it that you value? Come to the conclusion and build your business around that. I'll see you guys on the next episode. Peace.